Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experience, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Joe Albomonte, the general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it. Well, we're back.
We are.
Off of Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. So you had an event. Tell me a little bit about that. Friday?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was fun. It was a karaoke thing. It was small. It was a wedding that they had live music for ceremony, for cocktail, for dinner, for all that. They had it was a quartet that was upstairs kind of on this ledge. It was really nice. And then we played from 6:30, maybe started at 7 to 9:30. We just did some karaoke. They had a TV in there, so we just got to hook up to the TV. It was much easier than using a projector. So I really liked that. And they were good. I would say I was kind of nervous about it. Just it being such a small room, such a small group. Are we going to do karaoke for 2.5 hours? Are people going to be up there and be confident enough with such a small group of people to do this? But it was the right group of people for sure. And the bride and groom started it off with a song, of course, and it was good. And it was really fun. And Dave got to come. He got to assist, kind of see how karaoke goes. Yeah. So he had a good time as well. We got tipped.
Nice.
So, can't complain.
Any highlight songs that went really well? Or songs that you were surprised?
Creep was good.
That went well. Yeah, by Radiohead?
By Radiohead. The groom's son came up and sang Creep. It was fun. Yeah. Did you have any events? How was it?
I had a wedding on Saturday at Journeyman of Alpo.
Nice.
It was Nikki and Ricky. They were fantastic. Really nice, really sweet people.
Good.
And this happened last year. I think I did a wedding last year on the weekend after Thanksgiving. The crowd's very tired.
They are.
I could just see it.
They've traveled so much.
Everybody's kind of just talked out because they're doing, usually, if you're like me, you're doing something Black Wednesday, you're doing stuff all day Thursday, Friday you're doing stuff, and then here comes Saturday, and now we're at a wedding.
I know. I was shocked to do a wedding on a Friday.
Yeah.
To be a part of a wedding on a Friday.
We played a lot of music. We played all their music. We did a lot of the typical stuff. We did some newer stuff. We had a lot of requests, and we hit most of those. And it just was tough getting a consistent floor all night.
It's hard. And late in the year, too. I mean, people are cold. Did people leave fairly early, or what that look like?
I mean, we ended on time. We ended at 11.
Yeah.
It was kind of just slowly, Most of the crowd loved your, 70s, 80s stuff. Gotcha. We Are Family, that kind of thing.
The classic.
Yeah, Electric Slide, that kind of. Those are the big hits. But a lot of the crowd, we're not. We had some younger folks, but not very many, maybe 20 or so.
They weren't there with you.
Yeah, most of the people wanted to kind of sit and talk and chill, which was fine. It's frustrating as a DJ to try to, but I was like, I don't think we're doing anything wrong. We're doing our best. We played all the songs that bride and groom requested.
Yeah.
And it's tough. And it was a good party. It just wasn't, for the amount of people. The size of the dance floor, it was a struggle to get them. But I think it's maybe 220.
Yeah, still, I mean,
decent,
big enough to
260 maybe, something like that. Yeah. But most of the guests were older, and I think again it's just they're just tired.
Yeah,
everyone's tired because they literally been socializing and shopping and doing all the stuff that happened last year. Literally, I remember we did a Thanksgiving one. I was like, why? What's going? And everyone's tired.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it's going to be. We have some late December ones after Christmas, before New Year's, on the 30th, I think even I feel like those may be the same. People are going to be tired or just really excited because of the new year.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, but they were really sweet and everybody was really nice. And
good.
Groom came up, shook our hands, said thank you so much. And
were you with anybody or were you alone?
Oh, it was me and Jamenda, and then we had Mason was filming for us, and my car died a block from the office, so we had to get towed. That was cold, but we got it worked out. So now
it's the worst when you just want to get home and the car breaks down.
Yeah, it's just going to extend everything out. But luckily we got towed pretty quickly and got everything unloaded. And
good. Isn't there a tow company right here?
There is. They were closed, but I called another one that was close too, so that they were open, the closer one. But,
nice.
Yeah. So we have a few events left. A lot of corporate parties. A lot of just kind of random last minute kind of holiday stuff. We got photos with Santa and that kind of thing.
Are you doing one this weekend? Do you have an event this weekend?
Yeah, I have a holiday party at Blue Chip.
Oh, nice.
And then
very fun.
Yeah, and then you and Jeff are
at Journeyman.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have a quick 5-hour holiday party thing going on.
Heck yeah, dude.
Nothing too crazy. Looking forward to it. I like those. I like company parties. They're chill. You get to just like practice your mixes that you've been wanting to try, but with the company appropriate songs, of course. But it's really low stakes is what I meant by that.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like those gigs. It was also similar to like when I started working at like the ice rink, just like low stakes.
Yeah,
kind of play your music, do whatever.
Those are great gigs too because you can kind of match the energy of what's going on in the air, and if you can make it magical, even better. If it's snowing,
we always try to make it magical. We are very magical.
But yeah, so it got towed and my car broke down. And luckily, it was after the gig, and we're a block from the office. Everything worked out, you know.
So you just grabbed it and just carried it yourself.
Have you ever had an emergency at a wedding, before a wedding, during a wedding? Anything crazy?
No, not like that. No, not like a car breakdown. Not like
this is not the first time I've had a car breakdown before.
During a wedding,
on my way to a wedding.
Oh my god!
And we just pulled over, and I called. It was great. I called my brother. We just traded out cars, and then got that car towed, and it all worked out. So luckily, we were just early enough to where it was fine.
I've been nervous about it a few times. Like my check engine light's gone on, and I've had to travel like an hour plus to a gig, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And I do, and I did, and it was fine. But I've definitely been nervous about it a few times.
Yeah, I've had lots of stuff. Power outages, more than once. Storms, that took out my laptop, and we had storms take out Chris's gig last year. It just destroyed equipment. Just a crazy storm came in.
Oh, yeah, the one gig I worked at Journeyman a few years ago, we set up ceremony too early outside, right in the sun, and a speaker just melted.
Oh, no.
Like, it just did not work anymore. We tried turning it on, and we had to go get another one from her car.
Yeah, he could definitely do that.
It melted that speaker.
I've had that do with a board where the board overheated.
I remember, yeah.
Wild stuff. But yeah, generally the way I handle it is just, try to get it up and working, have backup equipment, replacement equipment. Yeah. It's always good having another person. I wasn't sure if you had any emergencies you'd had. We've had a couple health things that have happened. People get sick or call off last second. Mm-hmm. We've had a couple of people where it's like there was a health emergency from a guest or something at a wedding. But
honestly, I got really lucky this year. No equipment breaking, no major issues going to gigs or at gigs, and I worked alone a lot of the time, and there were no major issues.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have someone to go fix it and come back. I mean,
have you ever worked an event where you're just sick, just not feeling well at all?
Not kind of how I'm feeling now, coming off of a sickness. Sure. But I haven't really worked a wedding where I've been sick.
Yeah, I've done a few where I was just sick as a dog. I bet. And just got there early, and I'm vomiting in the bathroom, and
no, yeah. I have had times where I've been just sick to my stomach all day, mm-hmm. and then driving home, it's I have not eaten for 15 hours, and my stomach hates me, and I'm just in the car, it's not good. All the way home.
Oh, it's the worst. That is the nice part
need to get home.
About an assistant is that I can just, hey, can you drive? And I'll just rest. Or
I need a break. I just need a break.
Hit a wall.
Yeah.
Any songs that you play when you're no one's dancing? Wait, do you have a go-to song or?
I mean, besides Cha-Cha?
Sure. Or even those. That's a good one, right?
Cha-Cha. I think Cha-Cha's a great one. Get people on. Especially if the photographer is about to leave and dance floor's been kind of dead, we can always pull out a quick Cha-Cha.
Yeah.
Get everybody out there for some photos.
Yeah. I generally do. Yeah. I'll do a line dance, or I'll just start doing, the requests of the couple.
Yeah.
Or
I like to do that.
Yeah. Too. Or if I've done all that already, or that stuff's not working, I'll usually genre hop. I'll kind of try to find stuff do they like 80s? Do they like 90s? Do they like 2000s?
Yeah, give them a taste of everything.
Yeah.
Feel it out.
See what hits.
Yeah.
It's always tough. Sometimes you get crowds where it's oh, yeah, they love AC/DC. Shook Me All Night Long. Great. How about Def Leppard? No.
Nope. Boo.
Yeah.
Turn this shit off.
I was I thought you guys liked, 70s, 80s rock,
Yeah, no.
No.
Only some, okay.
Oh, Bon Jovi. Awesome. Yeah. What about Journey? Nope.
Nope. It's like country sets. It's like, so you like this country, but you don't like that country. I don't get it.
I like to do sing-alongs too. I was doing some of those.
Yeah. Sing-alongs always hit.
Yeah.
Wobble. I like a good wobble.
Do you have songs? I've asked Chris this before. They're like, this song is too good for this group. It's too good. Like, you always secretly hope they're going to dance and go nuts to it, but they don't. And you're like, no, this song's too good for you guys. I'm not playing it. Like, obviously, if it's requested.
I think No Hands.
No, it's too good for most.
It's too good.
And if they're not treating it with the proper respect.
If they're not giving me what I need from, like, Fireball forward, then I'm not giving them No Hands.
You'll get no Waka Flocka from me.
No Waka Flocka. No, not going to happen. What about you?
I love One More Time. The Daft Punk, yeah. That's a solid one.
Hits.
It can, but if it doesn't, I get mad. So I don't even bother.
Yeah. I'm crying. I'm so emotional this podcast.
There's songs I'll never play at weddings just because I love Shake That by Eminem.
Oh my God.
I love that song.
So good.
But I just see so many weddings that are like, it's not for us. And I'm like, okay, you're not getting it.
I know.
You don't get it.
I know. You don't get it. And I had someone come up and request Smack That, but they meant Shake That. So I played
they're
Smack
both good.
That
Akon.
Yeah. And people were looking at me like, what the hell is this? This is... And they're like, oh, we meant the Eminem song. And I'm like, okay, I mean, we could do that too.
I think Akon's on that one too, on Shake That.
I think, yeah.
Akon and Eminem. It's both of them, yeah. They teamed up for a small part.
What happened to Akon?
I don't know. I assume
haven't heard an Akon song in a very long time.
You know, sometimes people make enough money and they're just kind of done. So.
Or they lose a bunch of money and then they're stuck in Vegas, like Bruno Mars.
Sure.
You hear about that?
Yeah. Lots
For all
of gambling.
The viewers that don't know.
A lot of the casinos will give them like credit and just like, oh, you come gamble, and they want you to gamble it back to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like stuck with MGM, basically, just doing show after show after show, just stuck in Vegas.
Yeah.
Sad, but
he'll work his way out.
He will. And those couple new songs, pretty good.
Stay off the tables.
Gotta stay off the tables. Let's take the slots. Oh gosh.
Good. Do you have a favorite song that you never play? It's kind of on that same vein of like, I never play it. I love it, but I never get to play it, or I never play it like once or twice a year kind of thing.
Probably just like house stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love Walking on Broken Glass, Annie Lennox. It's an 80s jam.
I'll have to look it up.
On broken. Yeah, it's so... Yeah. The right crowd goes nuts for it. There's like that Michael Bolton song, How Can We Be Lovers If We Can't Be Friends?
That's a good one.
And it's
that's a great one.
There's certain groups who like they grew up like singing it, and they'll just when they're partying or whatever. Celine Dion's it's not the Titanic one, but it's it's so epic. I can't think of it. I'm just going blank.
I saw a video once of a wedding we did of a whole wedding party and their entire dance floor singing "Save That Money" by Lil Dicky.
I love that. Yes.
I wasn't there, but I remember like watching the video, editing the video. That was hilarious. I've never played that at a wedding, but for the right crowd, like that's hilarious.
I've done it once or twice, but it's usually a group of friends, party to it.
Celine Dion.
It's a Celine Dion song. It's a hit. It's epic,
One of those epic hits.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received about, DJing or running weddings, mixing music?
Honestly, just be patient. Just be patient with the people, with the music, with the dance floor. It's everybody's first time. It's hopefully their first time and only time getting married. So be very patient with the couple. Be patient with the guests. They just want their song played. As annoying as it is sometimes that they come up 15 times, like, you just got to be patient.
Yeah.
And if your dance floor is like starting to form and you see it, just be patient. It's going to come. Like, it's going to build. You just got to make the right song selection. You got to do the right things, and it'll happen.
That's really good.
Yeah, how about you? Or advice you've given, or vice versa.
Man. Years ago, when I was like newer, somebody said, they're not ready for the future. Which is like, stick to music that is comfortable, accessible, that they've probably heard before, at least at weddings.
Yeah.
If you're at a party, if you're at like doing a club gig or something, like then do whatever you want, you know. But if you're at a wedding, most people come there. The whole goal is to celebrate the couple and make memories dancing and having fun. And most people want music that they can access, that they have memories.
Familiar music.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, not playing new music. And it's so funny because there's stuff like, sometimes you'll play like Sabrina Carpenter and they'll be like, what? Chapel Roan,
it
stuff
really
that
throws people off, and
it's too new.
It's hitting now. Maybe it's too good.
It's too good, but it doesn't have
now.
anything to do with it being bad or good.
No.
It has everything to do with that. Like most of the crowd are not young and not.
Yeah, and in 10 years, those Sabrina Carpenter, Chapel Roan songs are gonna hit at weddings.
Yeah,
they're gonna bang because those people are getting married. The people that are like really listening to those songs now.
Yeah, and music kind of goes with the decades, with the groups and. But yeah, they're not ready for the future. That's a big one.
That's a great one. I definitely agree with that. That's a great one.
We're not trying to learn anything. We just want to be comfortable and familiar with what we already know.
Yeah.
and dance and have a good time.
Add some songs in here and there, but like
the sage advice I've learned is that it focus on song selection, not on mixing. And then of course focus on mixing. The mixing will come, but. Better to pick a good song than do a good mix.
I agree.
And that's what I teach all of our DJs.
Yeah. And song selection is hard. I think that's probably the hardest thing to learn. I think coming into DJing, like as someone who's like a brand new DJ, I think that is something that's hard because you don't know the names of the songs from the 70s, 80s, 90s. You've probably heard the songs, but like being able to scroll through a laptop and be like, which song do I do next when you have 18 days of music in a playlist isn't always the easiest thing to do, like coming into it.
Yeah.
But once you really get it down, I think it's one of the most beneficial things.
Oh, 1,000%.
Absolutely.
What do you think about the phrase equipment has nothing to do with talent?
I mean, yes and no. Okay, so the best DJ can mix on a terrible setup.
On anything.
Anything. Yeah. Absolutely. Like we have some training boards and like some other boards that I've seen at Guitar Center that are just like 4 buttons. There's no effects slider. Like they're just like plug and play. Like you plug them into your phone type shit. And they're fine, but you can still mix on them. You can still get really great mixes out of them if you know what you're doing. They're much harder to learn on. But with weddings also, I think equipment goes a very long way when it comes to just like bookings and the classiness of your equipment. I think our equipment looks great. I think we've gotten bookings off of how our equipment looks.
Sure.
I don't think if we had just like the standard box, all that, cables everywhere, ugly old setup, I don't think that we would get bookings just based off of our equipment. We'd get bookings based on our talent and performance. But I think that if there's a solid mix of both, I think you just really sell yourself as a DJ because it looks great and we do great work. If you look great and you sound bad, what's the point of looking great? I mean, if you have the nicest equipment in the world and you can't use it.
People can't hear the voice. They can't hear it. Yeah. It doesn't matter how good it looks.
It doesn't matter how good it is or how good it looks.
There's always a balancing act of like the utility of it, the aesthetics of it, and then, of course, your performance as a DJ.
Yeah.
Because there's some guys who just can throw epic dance parties, but their setup just is not.
Yeah.
The nice way of saying it leaves a lot to be desired,
Absolutely.
But there's definitely guys who just can crush it on every level, I don't know. And it's obviously a very personal thing, like how equipment sounds, and then like what your constraints are on like how much space do you have to store this stuff? How much space do you have to travel with this stuff? What car, van, truck, There's always a trade-off. Like you can get bigger, nicer equipment, more expensive, but then you have to transport it, travel it, and replace it.
So my favorite thing about our setup is that everything fits in my car, my Chevy Cruze.
Yeah, just a four-door sedan. Yeah,
come on,
compact car. It fits. Yeah. I'm actually looking at getting a van because I just
it would be nice.
I'm tired of playing Tetris.
Yeah,
I love Tetris.
It's a fun game, but not every night.
Not every night.
Yeah, totally fair. Ideally, I'd like to be able to load up my cart at the end of the night, roll it onto a truck,
and
then just like leave it on the truck, and then just roll it off at my next gig. That would be awesome. You don't have to like take it off the cart or anything. That's a quick setup right there. That's in an ideal world.
Yeah. Now that you've been doing sales, for a month and a half or so, have you had? I mean, people ask lots of questions, right?
Yeah.
Any ones that you feel like if you were shopping for a DJ, this is a really good question to ask, or if you're shopping for a DJ, this is a really bad question to ask.
I mean, definitely, you should ask about your DJ,
like about them as a person, or about their experience,
about their style, or about their experience. I mean, I do think that that's important when you're shopping for if it's very, very important to you, if music's the most important thing, and you want to work with like a more talented, like a more professional person, and you want to speak to that person like on the phone before you book with them, I get that. Like they're going to be in charge of the emceeing at your wedding. You want to get to know their voice and their personality. I completely understand that. So I guess, I mean, just like having that conversation is something I really enjoy having. And I think a good question to ask is, like, what do you recommend? Like, what does the DJ recommend for this space? Like, what do you think is the best thing for us? Like, we really like this, and this.
Yeah.
We'll be honest with you. We'll be honest with you about what we think you need. We've most likely been to that space. Do they have uplighting there? Like, do they need uplighting? Like, we can kind of guide them. I mean, that's kind of why we're there, is to be able to tell them what we know and what we don't. And I really like to be there for that. Bad questions?
Maybe that.
I mean, bad question is
maybe even phrasing it as bad is not the right term, but useful. It's not as useful as you'd think.
Not as a useful question. It's just like,
a lot of times people ask, what equipment do you have? What do you use? And I'm like, do you really know DJ equipment? Like, does that,
like, we can,
like, what software do you use to DJ with? I'm like, so like there's 3 main ones, and it's like, does that matter? You can, I know people that do all 3 and different, I don't personally think that question matters.
I don't think so.
I think that when I get asked that question in a sales meeting, it's like, it's because they looked up questions to ask on they Google it, and then some DJ just wrote that in as a, and so
what software do you use?
What equipment do you use? And you should use professional grade quality stuff if you're doing a professional. You're getting paid.
And like, I want to talk to you and tell you about my experience.
I use a Mr. Microphone. Yeah.
I also don't want to feel like I'm like under fire having to defend myself because you don't have to book with us.
That's right.
I would love to be your DJ. I'd love to do it. I'm a great DJ. I'd love to MC it if I'm free on that date. I can tell you about my experience, sure. But like, if you don't want me, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm also not gonna fight for you to book with us because there are so many other DJs out there too.
Yeah.
If you don't want to book with us, I'd love to have you. But if it's not the right fit, go find another fit.
Yes.
And if you don't, then you can always call me back, and we can have that conversation again.
Yeah, I'd much rather you find someone that you connect with.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
your day.
Yeah.
We want your day to be special.
But it's so funny that sometimes people are like, yeah, we're big Allen and Heath guys, or we only love Shure microphone. Who knows?
We only want Shure microphones.
It's so absurd. Like the
Sennheiser lapels. That's it.
Asus, laptops,
Oh gosh,
running this software. I mean, you could really, pickle it to death or pick apart it, but
you could.
I loved
absolutely
what you said about a good question to ask a DJ is like, what is your opinion? What is your? I love when couples are like, hey, so we're looking for this, and then like, given your experience, what do you think? Mm-hmm. Like that to me will indicate a lot about that DJ, how they answer that question.
Yeah.
And like, how do we have the best party possible? What is the stuff, the hints and tricks, the tips? What are the stuff that what are the questions you wish people would ask? What are the things that are commonly overlooked that you see day to day, the mistakes people make when planning these weddings? And I love when they're like, hey, because when they're asking that, they want to look behind the curtain. They want to know, like, they're not really, and to me, it could be a make or break thing because they may not like how you answer. Yeah. But I always love that, and I usually bond with the clients really well when we have like, let's be frank,
because then it is that too. It's like you've seen the pricing. We've talked about that. We've talked about your day. Let's be real for a minute. Like we've done the business part of it. Let's talk about your day.
Yeah.
How can I make your day the best day possible?
And like what is important to you? What are the main things? What are the main priorities? And then it's like, hey, and they're like, I asked this to all my vendors. That would be a good way to go about it.
Yeah.
When I hire somebody to like fix my house, like fix something, I'm like asking, like I want to know a little bit about their experience, but I also want to know like, what's your plan? What's your strategy here? It's so funny. Like nobody wants to give you a price. Because I think they're gonna think you're gonna run away or whatever,
Yeah.
So I like to just focus on outcomes and focus on like, what do you want? What do you
just get them on the same page.
Yeah.
Like as long as we're on the same page here, like.
What are the common things that I look at as like the common things couples overlook or don't think? Because I think sometimes they overthink things, and then sometimes they underthink things.
Yeah.
When they're planning that, and usually it's their first one they've ever planned.
Yeah.
And they're getting a lot of advice. And they're getting some of it is good, and some of it's bad, and some of it is neither good nor bad. It's literally just, well, my cousin did it this way, and my cousin likes this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so my cousin wanted to do the shoe game or do the whatever, and that's if that's what they like, we'll do it. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it wastes time.
I agree. I think a lot of the small events like that are better for either like the rehearsal dinner, like a party before, like with your guests, but like you're just gonna take up time for dancing at your wedding, like doing stuff like that. Unless like you guys aren't really the dancing crowd, and that's something you want to do, then that's also like if you know your crowd.
Yeah,
that's also important too. Like I do think that's something that a lot of people overlook. It's also, I really like this music, so we're gonna play this music, or like these are my recommendeds. It's not music we can dance to. Like, I know it's music you like, but it's not music that we can really dance to, or music that your guests are going to dance to.
Yeah.
I think that's something that gets overlooked fairly frequently. I mean, you can kind of add in, and then like, of course, do the thing as a DJ and make it a full set. But there are some weddings I get where it's like I get 12 songs that are just like way off of, that would never see a dance floor anywhere else. So I just think that kind of gets overlooked. But I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I think with every wedding, it of course it's different.
Yeah. What I see a lot of people jam pack their timeline.
Yeah.
Way too many events, way too many things that the DJ needs to introduce or have you do. And if that's important to you, do those things. Like, I'm not going to talk anybody out of that, and I'm going to help work with them on the best way to make that happen.
Exactly. But the most successful weddings that I've had are just
very
couples
chill
that do not care about like the overarching, like all the things. Like they're happy that they're getting married that day, and they're celebrating that day with everybody that's there.
That's it. And they're cool with whatever's going to happen.
I had this one couple that like, there's not many brides that would be okay with like going from like the ceremony spot to the other spot in like the rain and in the mud and getting mud on like the bottom of her dress. Like, not many brides would be okay with that. But like,
I'm not okay with that. I don't know.
They did not care. Like, they were very down to earth people. Like, they just wanted a party. They wanted to just like come right in and go straight into dinner. They wanted to get their guests fed, and they wanted to dance. We had a 4-hour dance set. It was great. It was a huge 350 person wedding.
Dude.
But they were so chill, and with that many people, and like with me releasing tables and this and that and the hecticness that can be at a 350 person wedding.
That's a lot of
It was one of the most chill weddings I had all year.
Oh, I love
at that big of a wedding. Just because they had the right attitude about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of it, is just the attitude that I think, what in my experience, people are really bad at judging in the future how they're going to feel and how they're going to act in a given situation. All the time when I do a sale, they'll be like, oh, we're big dancers, we're going to dance. And then the day of the wedding, they're like talking to their guests the entire night. They're not dancing at all.
Yeah, we just see you on the dance floor once.
Yeah, or barely at all. Maybe one song.
We saw you the first song.
Yeah, and it's because when you get married, it's literally every person you know that is important to you at that point in time in your life. And maybe it's been important to you in the past and their family. But either way, they're all right there, and they all want to talk to you and wish you well and wish you congratulations and connect. Yeah. And you want to talk to them. And so, I'm like, if you feel like you're going to be talking,
and that's also like the most important advice too that I've heard, like that I would give couples, is that your day flies by.
Yeah.
You will not realize it booking it. It's going to feel like months booking it, years booking it. Your day is going to go by like that.
Yeah.
Like you are going to spend hours stressed out getting ready in the morning. You are then going to have a 30-minute ceremony where that breezes by, and then you are married. And then it's going to speed by. There's going to be cocktail where you're like touching everything up, and then you go and do intros, and then you eat dinner, and then you go talk to people, and then the night's over.
Yeah.
If you're not making it a point to just enjoy the night, meet me out on the dance floor. I think that's one thing a bride said in her one speech this year that I really liked was like, guys, there's a lot of people here. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming. I'll be out on the dance floor. Like, if you want to talk to me, I'll be out there all night. Yeah. Please come talk to me out there. Yeah. But I'll be here.
That's it. Because that's what I want to be doing. That's how I want to enjoy the day and celebrate the day with my family, my friends, or, you know.
That was really nice.
I love that. And I guarantee you had a great dance floor that night.
If the bride's
people take cues how to be from the couple. They really do. If the couple's talking, they're going to chill and talk. If the couple's dancing, they're going to dance.
They do.
If the couple's nowhere to be found, they're like, why are we here? We came to see. Because a
lot
of times
outside at a bonfire.
That's it. They'll go out and smoke a cigar or go talk to friends, or they'll go off into the bridal suite or hang out some private area. Yeah. And I understand that. Like a lot, too. Especially if you're not an extroverted person. That's a lot of people in your face, around you. You're typically wearing uncomfortable clothes.
And it's been hours. Like, you have been nonstop for hours. Yeah. I also would just want to sit in the quiet
and chill with a few close people.
Yeah.
But when that happens, guests just are like, bye. I'm seeing you. Yeah.
Seriously, they're gone.
Why am I here? I'm going to go get in comfortable clothes myself and, you know, watch my Netflix and or chill.
And or
chill.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a big thing is if bride and grooms are nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found, if they're, couples are...
that definitely makes our job a bit more tough.
Yeah. It's a weird thing because we're really judged on a big part of what we're judged on the success of our job is how much people are using the thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't do that. There's more factors than that. Of course, that's one factor. But you look at like, I know a lot of amazing people who bake cakes. And if you look at the amount of wedding cake left over after a wedding and then you judge the cake on that, that's not a fair judgment.
It's not.
There's a lot of reasons people don't eat cake, and it has nothing to do with the flavor or taste or the quality of the cake. Yeah. The same with the food. The same with the bar. If you don't drink the bar dry, was that not a successful wedding?
Seriously.
Yeah, we drank them out of whiskey. We drank them out of vodka. You know, there's so many things, and it's like there's so many reasons why people will dance or won't dance, and some of those are in our control, but a lot aren't. The ones that are like the energy we bring on the microphone, the energy we bring to emceeing, the songs we're picking, the way we're mixing them, you know, the way we've set up the room sound-wise, that kind of thing. But there's so many things you can do in so many rooms. You know, you're limited.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of guests, I mean, they won't understand that. And a lot of DJs do. But you have to, like, get to a point as a DJ where you also have to understand that. Because I remember, like, the first couple times you're sitting at a dead dance floor. It's like, I'm doing everything right. Mm-hmm. This sucks when there's a dead dance floor. And I'm doing everything right. And you just feel like all eyes are on you because, like, you're not doing your job. Yeah. And you are.
You are doing your job.
You have to just get over that hump of the people just, like, watching you. You're doing your job. Yeah. Confident in that.
The best thing you can do is figure out, like, is it me why they're not dancing?
Exactly.
Or is it something else? Mm-hmm. Is it them? Is it, you know? And so that's, I mean, I've done this enough to where I'm like, no, I know when it's me. I know it's not me. Yeah. And sometimes it's both. Honestly.
Exactly. Sometimes I have an off day, or I'm not mixing right.
And it's not about my mixing. It's just like, I don't know what this crowd likes.
Yeah.
They're not making it easy on me. Here's Bon Jovi, and here's, you know. True. And here's Bryan Adams, and they hate Bryan Adams. Why would you ever play that?
The two people from the one holiday party.
Yeah.
They wanted this, and then their friend was like, well, that sucks. And then they wanted this, and they were like, well, that sucks. They're like, we can't please you both.
They're request enemies.
Yeah, we can't.
Why would you ever play this? Well, because that's my best friend. Well, she wanted it. This. And then that woman was like, why did you ever play this? I'm like, because she wanted it. Exactly. You guys may be best friends, but you like opposite music to dance to. And guess what? We didn't do anything wrong playing both of those songs, you know?
Exactly.
But we look like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
there's just no other job where that happens. Where even the cake, if you didn't eat enough cake, nobody's gonna go.
Nobody ate your cake.
Nobody's gonna go yell at the baker that there's leftover cake.
No, you're right.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What is this frosting? That'd be so incredibly rude.
That would be.
And the way cake tastes is such an impersonal experience,
Absolutely.
And well, I don't like carrot cake. Well, that's what the bride and groom wanted.
That's their favorite
That's
cake.
what they wanted,
From their favorite bakery in
don't
Valpo.
like
so that's
chocolate.
Pretty subjective.
But that's how people treat the DJs. That you're playing this song. Why would you do that? I'm me. I hate this song.
Why would you play that?
Because
Why would you play the Cupid Shuffle?
Other people
what is wrong
it.
with you?
Other people like it. This is going to be crazy for you to understand, but not everybody is you. And not everybody likes what you like.
Exactly.
And, we're going to cater to you as best we can.
You're going to play my song, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. I'm about to leave.
Me and my wife are about to leave. You play my song?
We say it all the time, but it bears repeating, is that, people can be ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah.
God, it's a good job.
Yeah. So, this weekend we got the 2 holiday parties, wedding, and then the photo booth. It should be a good little thing. And then next week we got some more stuff and keep going. Mm-hmm. So, awesome. Well, I don't have too much else. We can wrap here and appreciate you. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
And we'll see you at your wedding.
Thank you so much.